Hi, I'm Luke, and in today's video we're gonna talk about some of my thrifted books, and I hope you guys like it. Okay, these are my books, my thrifted books, and they are in a random order, so we're just gonna go through them and talk about some of them. Anyways, that's all. First off, first one is this one. It's an electronics book, and it has the fundamental laws of electricity and electronics. I bought this one because it's a long story, but I can make it short. Basically, I bought a Raspberry Pi Pico and I wanted to use it, but in order to make something with a microcontroller, you actually have to understand a bit of electricity and electronics, and I haven't really thought about it before buying the Pico, and now I'm having to study electronics. So I bought this one. I thought it could be useful, and it was kind of until now. But my boyfriend, he studies physics, so this is just like support for my electronics studies, because if I want to know something, I could just ask my boyfriend. And also we have other friend in physics field that he has a degree in electronics, so I don't know exactly why about this. I could have searched it on the internet, but like I feel like having this physically could mean something bigger to me, like, well, now I do have an electronics book, I need to study it, but I don't think it's working. Anyways, moving on. Oh, the second book, it's Temperatures Rising by Sandra Brown. And what can I say about this? When I bought this book, I had never heard of Sandra Brown and her work, and so I was like, well, I could read it. It wasn't that destroyed when I bought it. It was like major part of it, like most of what's destroyed now, it already was when I bought it. But I thought that the book was cute, the way that it is, like it's kind of fat. I don't know how to explain. I like books that are fat and lightweight at the same time. I don't know how to explain. It's just so light to hold it, but it's like, I don't know how to explain. Anyways, but this book kind of, as you can see, I have read almost half of it, and this book kind of screams, there's a white man and his love interest is an indigenous woman from the island he's trying to build like things on, and she wait, it gets worse as I think of it. But and then this indigenous woman, she kidnaps the white man, and there is always a sexual tension between them, and I just couldn't keep reading it because, oh gosh, this was like kind of painful to read. This one is really interesting and cute. It's Discoveries in Science, How They Are Made by William Lutz-Page. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but Discoveries in Science, How They Are Made. The author, he's a microbiologist, something like that. It has something to do with biology, so most of the discoveries have something to do with it. And I remember one that was about the hypothalamus and how it was related to the growth of the lab rats that were being tested. They would like take off some pieces of the hypothalamus and test it, and the animal would not grow or something like that, and that's how they discovered that the hypothalamus had something related to growth. And I haven't explained it in a good way, but you kind of get it. I think you do. Anyways, this is a good book. Okay, the next one, I'm really excited about this one because, oh, have you read that one? No, I haven't. But I started reading that one last year when I bought it, but I haven't finished. I actually haven't even reached half of it. I just read the beginning of it, but it's Women in Love by David Herbert Lawrence, T.H. Lawrence, and it's a classic too. And when I started reading it, there were some phrases, some quotes that like kind of got into my brain. And okay, I found the quote, and can I read it? Yes, I think I can read it. You want me to read it? You do, right? You want me to read it? I'm gonna read it. Good God, she exclaimed to herself. What is this? And then, a moment after, she was saying assuredly, I shall know more of that man. She was tortured with desire to see him again, nostalgia, a necessity to see him again, to make sure it was not all a mistake, that she was not deluding herself, that she really felt this strange and overwhelming sensation on his account, this knowledge of him in her essence, this powerful apprehension of him. Am I really singled out for him in some way? Is there really some pale gold Arctic light that envelops only us two? She asked herself, and she could not believe it. She remained in a muse, scarcely conscious of what was going on around. I just think that this part of, am I really singled out for him in some way? Is there really some pale gold Arctic light that envelops only us two? It was like, when I read that, I was like, yeah, this book is going to destroy me, and I'm destroying the book, sorry. This book is going to destroy me. I think that's why I haven't keep reading, because I was so in love in that time, and I was kind of afraid of not getting to the relationship as I wanted. So I am that kind of person. When I'm scared, I just drop things out. That's probably why I don't finish many of the books I have. Anyways, and now that I am in the same healthy relationship, I think I read this. Yeah, this book, I think I like it, and I do recommend. I haven't read it, but I do recommend. If it's shit, that's your fault because you hurt me. This book, After the Quake by Murakami. I don't know if you can see it, but I have put little stickers in many pages. I can't really flip them because I have to hold this with my left hand and hold the book with the right one, as you can see. So I don't know, I explain everything. It's pretty obvious, you can see what's happening. Anyways, this book, there are a lot of short stories, and Murakami, shit, this guy, he is incredible. Like, he writes some shit, and I mean it in every possible way, because sometimes what he writes is really shitty, but sometimes he writes the shit, and I think that's the best way to describe a Murakami book. I have read 3 of his books until now. This one was the last one I read, and there's other one in this list. I'll talk more about Murakami later, but this one was really good, especially the second chapter. The second story was like so good, but so depressive. I had to take a pause and stop reading for a while. Stop reading like for 2 or 3 hours, not that much, but it gave me depression. I already had, but it gave me more depression. I think I read a quote. I have too many things stickered here to not read your quote. Okay, the first quote that I want to go through is, no matter how far you travel, you can never get away from yourself, Shimao said. And that's true. And I think that by doing this exercise of seeing the books I've read or started reading, and anyways, the books that I have highlighted in some kind of way, I think that we tend to highlight and pay more attention to the stuff that resemble with what we're going through. So I remember that it was like last month. It isn't that long, but last month or in April, yeah, in May. Anyways, like April. But by the time I was reading that book, I was running from a lot of things, and this quote had me on my knees. It may not be that much of a like groundbreaking quote for you, but when you are running away from things and you do that by reading a book, and the book tells you that no matter how far you travel, you can never get away from yourself. That's it. That is groundbreaking. So yeah. What else do we have here? Oh, the second chapter, as I said. Sorry. Junko never said much in the presence of the fire. She hardly moved. The flames accepted all things in silence, drank them in, understood, and forgave. A family, a real family, was probably like this, she thought. And Jesus Christ, there's other one. Yes, I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about Murakami. I don't care what you think. I didn't mean to pry or anything, Junko said. Please don't let it bother you. It's just the way I am. I can help asking questions. When I don't know something, I don't mean any harm by it. And she's her character, can we talk about her character? I think I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't. But her character is someone that probably has ADHD. Yes, I'm diagnosing her because I have ADHD, most likely. And I think that she is very much like me. And she was failing at school. And a lot of stuff that resembled me. And the thing with the fire. I've always had a thing with the fire. And it's not just because I am a main hotel. It's main hotel and Dragonite. But I don't know, the thing with the fire burns stuff, and when Murakami says that the fire forgives, Jesus Christ, I'm going to cry. Let's move on. I can't. Okay, this one, many of us know. You most probably we all know this book, which is The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. And other stories. Important to say that other stories too. This cover sucks. I want to say this cover sucks, but I bought it because I had read this book. It's been like 3 years, I think, 2 or 3 years, and I didn't have it physically. So I really wanted to have a Kafka book in person, like in paper. I am a mess today. I'm looking so messy. I'm sorry. And the cover sucks, yeah, but the story is good. I haven't finished reading in English because the first time I read it was in Portuguese. But I'm halfway there. I read until he was already discussing with his boss, and he was ready to go to work again while still being this giant, I'm not gonna say giant cockroach, but I think of it, and no, it's not a cockroach. Everyone knows it's a cockroach. I don't care about what Kafka says. It's not his story anymore, it's ours. That's what happens. Artists create the art, and the people who consume it, consume is not a good word for art, but the people who read the art or see the art or watch anyways, they decide the meaning. That's all about what art is. So to me, this thing is a cockroach, unfortunately, because I am really scared and afraid of cockroaches. I hate cockroaches. This one is really, I don't know why it's here. I mean, I do know why it's here, because it's a thrifted book, because it's a thrifted book, but it's just a revision of English, and I think I needed this. I bought it because I was giving English lessons, and I thought it could be interesting to review my own English and to know what I should get stronger at, what points I should be stronger at, because when I want to teach someone, I really need to know what I'm teaching. So, yeah, revision English. It's not that hard, it's not that easy to, it's just like revision English. It's not that relevant to. This one, this one is called O Cortiço by Aloysio Azevedo. Why did my voice sound like this? O Cortiço by Aloysio Azevedo. And it's a Brazilian classic. And my boyfriend talked about this book a day after, a day before I went thrifting books, and I saw it, and I hadn't bought anything at the thrifting bookstore, so I bought this one. And have I read it? No. I have started it, but as you can already tell by this long video, I start too many books and finish reading only a few of them. And I'm not really sorry for this. I just tend to blame myself a little, but we're not gonna talk about it today. So yeah, O Cortiço. This book makes me sad because have you ever tried to read a book in a language that is not your first and neither you're fluent in, and it was written in the 19th century? I can even pronounce it 19th century. Because this is what's happening to me by trying to read this book, and it's really hard, so I gave up. But I wish someday I can read it, and I think that I'd be really happy when I'm able to read it, because I like Oscar Wilde, and ever since I was a kid, my mother would read me that story about that capybara, or like that just that guy, that dude that was a doctor, and there was like that capitalist shit, and anyways the doctor dies, and you know what I'm talking about. If you have read the Oscar Wilde stories, you know what this one is. It's about that lawyer friend, and I don't know how the original title is, but in Portuguese it's When You Fail. And anyways, I like this guy. I like this guy, and he was like the true dandy boy, and I respect that. I really do. Haruki Murakami. Okay, now we have that guy again. I can really talk about it. We have that guy again, and this was the second book of him that I read, and this one was the book that made me into his writing, because the first one was South of the Border, West of the Sun, and it was not that good. It's not like it was a shitty book, or it was like I could. It was not a bad book, but this one is so much better that it kind of gave me like, well, I think that this is really Haruki Murakami's work, because like the way that things are described in this book, like the whole point of view is from a camera. And yes, exactly, like he describes the scenes as if it was a camera watching everything and recording everything. And when I noticed it reading, I was like, well, that how come I never thought of it. And like it was just so good. And Haruki Murakami is going to be one of my favorite authors, most likely, because 3 of his books and 2 I really liked, and the other one I like too. So I think, I don't know what's the next book of his that I want to read, but I think that Norwegian Wood is really important because it was one that made him rise, like made his career rise. So probably that one, but there are also many others that I want to read. So anyways, enough Murakami. Oh, this one, Demian by Herman Hesse. This guy. I started reading Damien this January, and my first reaction was like, well, this is a good book. This is a really good book. And I stopped reading. But then about this book, Physics, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. But then about this book, like, I thrifted it online, and when it arrived, I was like, well, I am gonna keep reading this book. This is so good. And then I stopped it again. Not because it's bad, not because it sucks, not because of any reason like that. It's just because I personally suck at consistency, at consistent reading, and this is a real negative habit of mine. I don't finish reading stuff, but I promise. Because look, I am halfway there. I am going to finish reading this. I swear, I swear. This one is about electric circuits, as I talked about. Not really interesting because we were just talking about some like fictional books. Anyways, this one is about biology, but not any biology because I don't really like biology, but cytology. Damn, this is really interesting, and I'm gonna show you the illustrations. Look at them go. They're cute. I like this book because of the aesthetics, mostly, and because it's from a topic I like, which is cytology, but it's kind of difficult. It sounds really, really friendly and like, yeah, you're gonna read this and you're gonna know everything, but the point is, I need to know chemistry, and I used to like chemistry a lot in high school freshman year, but I don't remember a thing about it, and I have to study a lot to understand this book, so I also have to read it. This one, I am going through this right now. In Portuguese, we have a word for books that are this big, which is calhamaço, and this book is a real calhamaço, because it's either big, it's both big and the letters are really small, so I know there's a lot of words here, but it's basically by teaching English as a second language, written by Harold B. Allen. And where did that came from? Well, anyways, and it's basically about teaching English as a second language, as you can tell by the title. And again, because I tend to want to give English lessons, I really need to understand how to teach and things like that. Although I don't plan, at least in this close future, I don't plan on teaching English as a second language, but rather as a foreign language. So this book might be helpful, but it's not everything. So, well, no book is everything, but anyways, you get it. And there's the last one, which is about neuroanatomy. It was written by João Guilherme Valentim Neto and Asdrubal Falavinha. I have no idea how to pronounce Asdrubal, but I hope you can see it. Neuroanatomy, and it's about, well, neuroanatomy. As you can see, I have a lot of different interests, and I don't how can I say this? I haven't finished reading almost none of these. This one I have, and this one I have, and this one. Like, literal 3 books out of many, and 2 of them are Murakami. That's why I talked about him so much. But you see, you don't have to finish things all the time, because as long as you're having fun when you're reading or watching something, you don't really have to finish. Because, like, if it didn't finish, there's a reason, And why do you want to finish it? Like, sometimes I see myself wanting to finish watching a movie just so I can log it on Letterboxd, or finish reading a book just because I want to log in on Scoop. And this cannot continue. We need to, I want to use the word consume again, but this is not right. We need to read stuff because we like it. And when the story is ready for us, when we're ready for the story, we're gonna finish them. And this is not just about books. Like, when we are really ready to read something, we're not gonna think about other stuff to do when we're reading, because we're meant for it. Like, books are not just stories. Books are some kind of connection with our inner thoughts and our inner self, even sometimes our inner child. So if you feel like, well, I don't finish any book I start reading, I feel so bad about it, don't do that to yourself. Like, don't be harsh on yourself. You are reading because you're enjoying it, and as long as you're enjoying it while you're reading, even if you don't finish the book, it doesn't mean a thing. Like, it doesn't mean a thing to not finish. You are enjoying yourself, and that's what really matters. Thank you.